Hi everyone, Nick Smith here. Welcome to this Friday Tech Tip. The topic we're going to cover today is something that I find is talked about an awful lot, and that's the subject of absolute and relative photometry and which one we should and should not be using. So firstly, absolute photometry is created when a luminaire is placed complete into a goniophotometer, the output is measured, and the measured values are stored in the file. There is an alternative option to that, which is relative photometry, and what happens is the lantern is placed in the goniophotometer. The values are measured at all of the various angles through the C and the gamma plane, and the values are then prorated per 1,000 lumens. So there are different ways of using this information, but if we look at this particular lantern here, this is a TRT lantern. This is a relative file, and you can see that because there is a flux value there of 1,373 lumens. That is used as a multiplier based on the value that is in the I table, and we use that, we multiply the two things together, and that gives us the light level using trigonometry and other stuff. So the alternative to that is absolute photometry, and there are a number of people who use that for type of photometry. CU Fosco, you can see here now the value in the flux field has turned yellow. It states absolute photometric file, and the flux is derived from the I table. So because the actual value is stored, when we look at the photometric file here, you will see that there is -1 in that field. That -1 signifies it is an absolute file, and the result of that is that we deal with it in a slightly different way. When the file is relative, in this case here, or in this case here, we read the flux value from here and we store that within the file. When the file is absolute, what we do is we derive it from the file itself, and we go through the whole of the photometric file, and we add up all the values, and we determine the flux value from that. You can see here this is an orange tech fitting, and you can see here that these are absolute as well. You can see that by the value if it has gone yellow. The other one that we see regularly that use absolute photometry is holophane, and again you can see that the value is yellow, and it states it's absolute photometry up here in the top as well. So does that mean that somebody using relative is doing a bad thing? No, it doesn't. Photometry is an extremely expensive process, and it's difficult to know which way to go. But anyway, that is the difference between relative and absolute photometry. I hope you found this useful. If you have questions, please drop us an email to support@lightingreality.com. This information is reproduced in a couple of places. This is LM63 from the IES, which states that when in the case where the absolute photometry, a -1 or a -1 is placed within the lamp lumen field, and I've already touched on that by showing you the files, and it's the same with ULMDAT or LDT formats. A -1 is placed in the file to indicate that it is absolute, and if you speak to any of the other software companies, then they will tell you exactly the same thing. Lighting analysts, Dilux, Relux, they will all tell you the same thing, is that a -1 signifies its absolute photometry. Anyway, enough of the -1 thing. Thank you very much for watching. If you have questions, please drop us an email, support@lightingreality.com, tweet us at Lighting Reality on Twitter, or follow us on LinkedIn, Lighting Reality, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.